Hello, Assalamu alaikum everybody. Hope you're all safe, sound, and healthy. And our next topic is cruelty free. You know what I think about cruelty free, because I actually did a podcast on the hypocrisy behind cruelty free, where all the Western people, they have this trend where they keep on saying, oh, we prefer makeup and nail polishes and skincare products that are cruelty free. Yeah, but it's okay that they're killing people in Gaza, right? It's okay that they're killing the Palestinians. It's okay that they're paying for the genocide. Yeah, cruelty free my ass. But here's another funny thing about cruelty free. I thought you guys were all for cruelty free. I thought that one of the reasons why you people all went on and on about cruelty free was when you found out how whales and even dolphins could have been used in traditional makeup, like lipsticks and everything. Animals were used. But now these Korean skin products that are all the rage, you have the one that had the snail gunk, and then you have salmon sperm. Like, that's okay. That's not cruelty free contradiction here. But you do realize what cruelty free means, right? You do realize that if they're, in the first place, as I said it, I've also done a podcast on this, that in the first place, anything that is mass produced cannot be 100% organic. It's just impossible. And especially if you have to keep within budget. But if it's extremely high range and it's 100% organic, then you can understand and realize that they are literally farming, for the want of a better word, okay? They're literally farming the insects or the animals or whatever it is. I mean, when people screamed cruelty free, they were also saying, oh, you know what, let's also stop using the vermilion color, the color red, in food dyes and in makeup and in everything, because essentially they come from those little insects. That is essentially, even today, it's amazing, isn't it? You would think that people would chemicalize and synthesize dyes, especially the red color, right? But no, apparently they still prefer to grind those insects and get the color out of them for lipsticks, as well as for food dyes, as well as for your Skittles, everything. So okay, so keep that in mind, and now imagine that they would probably be mass producing snails, and then what they have to do to snails to get all that fluid out of them, right? And now coming to salmon sperms. Okay, if you would say that, yeah, since they're already fishing salmon and they're using it in food, and so, they would remove the sperm in that process. And so, okay, I would be ready to accept that, okay, if that's part of that whole process where, like, for example, when you have cattle, and when you have, when you slaughter animals, then obviously everything comes in use. When you have them as cattle, the dairy comes in use, and then when you slaughter them, the hide comes in use, the bones come in use, every single part comes in use in one thing or the other. It depends on what you're doing, right? Okay, so if that's the whole point here, that okay, these are salmons that are already being fished or hunted and for food purposes, and you separate the sperms in the process. Although really, I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. You tell me how you think this is supposed to be. What are they doing to the salmons to gather all those sperms to make your skincare products that you're putting on your face? Your face. Next time they'll get toad slime. In fact, wait, I wouldn't be surprised if that has already been done. I wouldn't be surprised. But okay, get ready for toad slime, okay? Or get ready for cat's piss. Why don't you put that on your face and call it skincare? Like, seriously, there's got to be limits somewhere, And I thought, again, as I said, I thought that is where the whole debate on cruelty free began. No? when we found out that dolphins, of all the animals, of all the sea creatures to be disturbed, dolphins, there was this whisper, if you remember, decades ago, that whales and dolphins might have been affected in the whole process. That animals are affected in the whole process. I thought that was the whole point of going vegan and going, and also it was one of the reasons why halal skincare and halal makeup products began, because you didn't know what animal parts they were putting where and from how, because in Islam that matters. It matters a lot. Where are you getting the gelatin from? Where are you getting, how are you getting it? Where are you getting these sperms from? What are you doing? Yes, it all matters, because you I don't know what to say. I'm just saying, I'm just calling people out who have been raving and protesting about animal rights and cruelty free, when they don't give a shit about human rights on the other side of the border, where Palestinians are being killed left, right, and center. No, that's fine. It's fine, but we're just going for cruelty free, right? Yeah. So similarly, Korean skincare with the snails and sperms of, salmons, fine. Listen, I really don't care either way. As I said, I'm not the kind of person who's going to judge people on. I am just judging people on their hypocrisy. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Otherwise, you do you. Well, this is me signing out. Khuda Hafiz.